Spirit divine, come to me, feeling love, healing me. Open my eyes, allow me to see beauty and love is in me. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy.
That's it? That's it. All right. Good morning. Thank you for being here this morning. Those of you that are sitting right in front of me on this beautiful day. And for those of you that are joining us online, welcome. We are so glad that you're with us as well. It is one of the most glorious days today. Whew, yesterday was beautiful. Today is fantastic. And tomorrow's supposed to be good too. Wow. Did we luck out for Memorial Day weekend? So I am Reverend Pat Bessie, and it is my joy to be with you this morning. And this is a holiday weekend, and we are remembering those who served and lost their lives. And we are so grateful for them, for the freedom that we continue to experience. And for all who have served, we are grateful. And so now let us stand as we greet one another in our opening song.
Come, let us gather together. This is a place of love. We come together as people of prayer. This is a house built on love. Come, let us gather in peace. This is a sacred space. We join our hearts here in one loving family. This is a house built on love. We come together as people of prayer. This is a house built on love.
And please be seated. And I invite you to join me in prayer. L-O-V-E, love. Love is the healing balm. Love is who we are. Love is all that's needed. So let the love that we are just flow. Let it flow out of every pore of your beingness. And as we let that love out, we know that it goes to wherever it is being called. And there are so many places on our planet right now that love is needed. Often hear people say, what do we do in these times that we're in? It seems like there's so much strife and grief and anxiety going on. And the answer to that is just give more love. Just be more loving. Just let love rule. And when we do that, we are lifting everybody up. We may not know the results of that love, but when you see somebody smile because you've opened the door for them or said hello, that may be the only smile or the only greeting that they get that day. So don't miss the chance. Don't miss the chance to be somebody's angel today. So we just give thanks. We give thanks for this community. We give thanks for the opportunity to come together and celebrate life and know that all is well. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Well, again, welcome. So happy to have you with us. I already did my weather announcement, but I want to say when I was driving down, it was 74 degrees already, and it was only 9 o'clock. I already made the decision. I'm going home and sit outside with a book. And that's going to be my afternoon delight. So for all of you that are with us this morning, again, I am so grateful that you're choosing to be with us today when there are many other places you could choose to be. And that is also true for those of you that are sharing with us online. I miss seeing you folks, but I know that you're there because I go home and I read the comments that are in the chat box. So please, please put something in there, even if it's just hi, Pat. I love it. So let us now begin by doing our invocation. And again, if you choose to sit, please don't hesitate. And our invocation is, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good omnipotent. One presence, one power, and that is love. Our vision statement is, centered in divine love, we celebrate a spiritually transformed world. We celebrate a world where everybody treats each other with kindness and respect, where everybody sees the Christ in each other. And our mission statement is, Unity Center for Spiritual Growth reaches in to reach out through education, service, and creation of community. Everything begins in prayer. And we have core values that we live by, and they are, we are loving, we are accepting, we are authentic, we are transformative, we are soul-centric, we are passionate, and we are welcoming. And that is the truth about us. And now, Dina, our community song?
Community song. This is a song by Wiley Beveridge. And this is a song that we haven't done hardly at all. So I'm gonna go through it with you before we do it for real. So the refrain sounds like this. And every time you see I love all that I am, it's the same little melody, which sounds like this. I love all that I am. I love all that I am. Just as I am, I love all that I am. Just as I am. Now see if you get nothing else from this song, you can sing that line. I love all that I am. I love all that I am. Just as I am. next slide, I'll give you a preview of the verse. You can go to the next slide so they can see the words. There it is. And I can be the way I'm looking for, and I will be the way, and I can be the way I'm looking for, and I will be the way. Let's all do that together. Yeah, I'm sorry about the two thes in the in the long lines. That was my typo. And I can be the way I'm looking for, and I will be the way, and I can be the way I'm looking for, and I will be the way. Great, that's enough. We can do the whole song. So we go back to that first slide with the refrain on it. We'll do it for real. I love all that I am. I love all that I am. Just as I am, I love all that I am. Just as I am. And I can be the way I'm looking for, and I will be the way, and I can be the way I'm looking for, and I will be the way. I love all that I am. I love all that I am. Just as I am, I love all that I am. Just as I am. I need to shine the light I long to see. I need to shine the light. I need to shine the light I long to see. I need to shine the light. I love all that I am. I love all that I am. Just as I am, I love all that I am. Just as I am, I love all that I am. I love all that I am. Just as I am, I love all that I am. Just as I am.
Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. Yes, thank Wiley. Do you know Wiley and Robbie are in Costa Rica? Yeah. They're down there for 2 or 3 months. Isn't that the best, huh? Woo. All right. Well, are you revved up now? Have you got that love feeling, the love bug? This is the time that we greet one another, and it's the time that we greet you if you are with us for the very first time. And I know we have a first timer here. So I'm not going to ask you to say one thing. No worries. Just put your hand up because Michelle has a gift for you. We have 2 first timers here. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And what you just received is information about Unity as a movement as well as Unity Center for Spiritual Growth. On the outside is what I want you to focus on, and that is the welcome card. And if you are so inclined to fill that out and leave it with us, we'll put you on our database so that you get our weekly updates. We send out one on Wednesday afternoon and we send another one out on Saturday evening. So it also tells you everything that's going on, everything that you need to know. So we are delighted that you're with us today. And if you are with us for the first time online, please let us know that as well. We would love to hear who you are and where you're from. And now is the time we greet one another, and we do that by singing through Namaste twice. So, again, if you want to stand or sit, it's up to you. Thank you. I just feel the energy is so sweet today. Mm, it's almost like dark chocolate. my, my favorite. Oh, so here's the time in the service that I go over our 4 basic principles. And these are the teachings that Unity builds their teachings upon. And I tell you these every week because these are what I call your spiritual guide, your spiritual lifeline. It goes into spiritual toolbox. And I can guarantee you, as long as you're walking on this earth, you are going to need one, two, three, four, or five of them in the course of a week. And sometimes you can get by with one or two, but sometimes you need them all. And so I keep reminding you that you have them so that when the times get tough, you remember to go to them. Now, I can tell you, I don't always remember right in the beginning. I'm sometimes very far down the rabbit hole before I realize that there is something else that I can do. So the first one is that God is good and everywhere present. There is no place that God is not in your life. Because if you are, no matter where, God is with you because God is in here. It isn't a God out here, up here somewhere. It's right here. The second one is that everybody is inherently good. And if you have been brought up with the belief that you are an original sin, I'm asking you to let that go today. You are an original blessing. Every single one of us is an original blessing. From the time that we make our presence on this planet till the time we leave, we are an original blessing, whole and complete. The third one is that our thoughts are creative. As we think things and hold them in our thoughts and ruminate on them, they come to life. So you want to be careful that the ones you're ruminating on, and ruminating is good if you're ruminating for the right reason. So they're going to come into your life. So being mindful, standing guard at the portal of your mind, and letting in only the thoughts that you want to see produced in your life. The fourth one is that prayer and meditation is our conscious contact with spirit. So when we spend time in a meditative practice or in a prayer practice, we are making that connection, which reminds us of what are the things that we're thinking. It reminds us that we are whole and complete, as is everybody else. And it reminds us that there is only one presence and one power operative in our life. And then the last one is the one that you probably forget sometimes, and that is putting them into action. When we put them into action, then we will find ourselves in a better state of mind. It doesn't always necessarily mean that whatever's going on is going to be gone, but what it means is you're going to feel better, and that's what's important. So, with that being said, does anybody have a story that they want to share? Okay, Jack.
I want to share something about this community. The last week there was a cleanup day, and I all hesitated about coming because I know there's limited to what I can do. But they found some way I could serve. And there's something about serving. When you open your heart, you want to serve, you're blessed in return. I had wonderful time. It pushed my limits to do a little bit here, but I spent time talking with delightful people. And for pushing myself, I do better every day now, just by pushing and giving and love. This is a wonderful community, and it's in giving that we're blessed.
Thank you, Jack. Yeah, thank you. We create our experiences through our way of thinking. Our family of three that live in this area have been going through some rough times. Randall, those of you who know him, is living with us. My husband is having physical difficulties. Randall's not the easiest person to live with, but this week, through realizing, thinking, and cogitating, and so forth, we're now working on a way that we can stay in our house and be able to have things done around the house. Randall and I can still do. Randall can do more than I can, and he helped me yesterday with something that hadn't been done in 3 years outside. And just by having the positive thought that Randall doesn't have any other place to live at this time, and he's working on some projects and so forth. And so we are all accommodating each other. And I feel so blessed. And I realized this morning, hey, wait a minute, that was number 3. And so thank you all. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, number 3. Oh, yes. So these tools are definitely tools that are available always. No cost. Just use them. Okay. All right. So now we're going to shift gears a little bit, and it's time for our daily word. And Janice Murphy, one of our board members, is our daily word reader. Welcome, Janice. Yes. What a rousing introduction. Who's that?
Good morning, everyone. Today, our daily word is comfort. Loving memories comfort me. There may be days or maybe even weeks on the calendar when I find myself mysteriously feeling melancholy, or blue, only to realize the anniversary of someone or something I have loved and lost is approaching. Even when I don't realize it outright, a part of me remembers and responds. I can honor these feelings as a way to honor the people and places that have taught me and helped me evolve. Welcoming my feelings brings deep and abiding comfort. I carry those people and places I love with me in the things I do, keeping their spirit alive. Gradually, I find smiles within the sadness. Revisiting treasured memories reveals the love within the loss. The presence of God is found within the gift of each moment, and I find comfort through my grateful heart. And from Psalm 119:76, let your steadfast love become my comfort according to your promise to your servant. Today's daily word is comfort.
Thank you, and Dina.
To open up Pat's talk this morning, this is a mashup of two songs, one by Adele Getty and one by Ann Keeler Evans. Oh, deep down inside of me, oh, I feel like going on. Oh, deep down inside of me, oh, I feel like going on. Oh, God, make you shout, shout, shout. And take me with some shall not walk here right any longer. I will no longer feel the rain. The strength has grown from the center of my being. And I only Lord enough to heal my pain. And I only Lord enough to heal my pain. My strength has grown from the center of my being. My God is large enough to hold the pain. My strength has grown from the center of my being. My God is large enough to hold the pain. My strength has grown from the center of my being. My love is large enough to heal pain. My strength has grown from the center of my being. And my love is large enough to heal pain. And my love is large enough. My love is large enough. God is large enough to heal pain. God is large enough. God is large enough. God is large enough to heal pain. God is large enough to heal pain.
so blessed to have such beautiful music. Thank you, Dina. Well, I'm continuing with a series that I started from this little book, but this little book is packed with information that is so good. It's called It's Not Your Money, and the author is Tasha Silver. The byline is How to Live Fully from Divine Abundance. Dr. Seuss said, adults is a word that means obsolete children. So see yourself today as an obsolete child. Oh, so I'm going to just recap where we've been with this. There are 5 steps that we've been doing along the way. And the first one is a prayer called Abundance Change Me Prayer that she recommends that you say every single day and see how that transforms your life. And then the second one is clean and clear your house. I want to talk about that one for just a moment because last week on Saturday, Jack mentioned that we had a cleanup day. And did we ever have a cleanup day? And we're still cleaning up. So I'm going to be telling you about some other things that you might want before the day is over. But clamp the energy of your flow. And so we had a demonstration of that on Sunday because on Sunday, the offering was 3 times what it normally is. That is huge, friends, because that is a demonstration of what happens when you clean out and clear out. And I have to laugh because Kim was working in the office with me and Sue, and she was pulling out everything in the corner. She said, "We want to get it all out. We want to get we want to get it all out so that we can open up the flow." So it is really important to do that step. The third one is stop complaining. Stop complaining. Stop complaining about money. Stop complaining about kids. Stop complaining about anything that's going on in your life. See it as, oh, isn't that interesting? That's all you have to say rather than complain. Oh, isn't that interesting? The fourth one is daily statements of gratitude. When you wake up in the morning, the first thought you have is, thank you, God, I'm alive, alert, awake, and can walk on this earth today. And when you go to bed at night, be grateful for whatever the day held for you. And then the last one is a mantra. It's easy for me to receive. Would you say that with me? It's easy for me to receive. I'm going to share a story. I don't think she'll mind. It was from Carol Holt. Most of you know Carol, and she sent me a text this week, and she lives at Piper Shores, and she was gifted a ticket on a bus plus a ticket to a concert or some symphony or something that was happening at Merrill Auditorium. And she said, it's easy for me to receive. She said, I want you to know it's easy for me to receive, and this is what I got. So again, making that your mantra, it's easy for me to receive. So today we're going to address a critical issue, and that is often neglected when we are focusing on abundance. However, it's a very important area. And that area is looking at our inner child. There's a lot coming up in the news and on social media and in blogs and stuff on trauma. Trauma can be as little as, and I just heard this the other night, I was watching a YouTube, a little girl, a 4-year-old, that didn't get a popsicle because she didn't finish her meal, but her sister did get popsicle. And in that moment, she felt she was not loved. And that was the theme that she carried through her life. I'm not loved. From that one little incident. So trauma doesn't have to be a huge thing. It can be something as little as that. And so it is our inner child. This is with whom many of our financial fears are stored with. We talked about it a little bit last week, but we're going to go into it a little bit more. And I'm not going to ask you to show me, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand. However, my question to you is this: did you feel heard as a child? I guess I have my answer, don't I? Our author tells a story of a person called Claude. But you can put your name in here if this story relates to you. Claude came from a family where all his material needs were met, for which he was very grateful. However, what he wanted was anybody, to ask him, "How was your day?" He said, "I would love to hear what, I would want somebody to say, I would love to hear what happened. I have all the time in the world to listen to you, and I want to know how you are feeling." Claude never got this as a child, and so he carried a lot of anger around. And I'm guessing, but the author doesn't say this, but I bet Claude got into therapy or started coming to Unity and realized he could stay angry or do something about it. And that is the choice that we're always at. We can look back and we can say, "No, I didn't get that." And I can say, as a mom, "I didn't give that. I wish I had. I wish it had been different, but it wasn't." And the same is true for us. I wish it had been different, but it wasn't. And so I can move on, or I can stay stuck in that place of that little 4-year-old, 5-year-old. Tasha says that many adults say at the age of 40 and 40, 50, 60 are still incensed at events from age 3. And when you think about trauma, I've always thought of trauma as a major something that's happened in your life. But what I'm really finding out that trauma is very subtle little things that we didn't get picked up when we scraped our hand or whatever. And that impressed us with the feeling of "I'm not loved." And that's the one that we carry around most. I'm not loved. So here's our takeaway from that. Yes, you can give our inner child the attention it never got. But importantly, we can give to others what they missed as children. This is how we can pay it forward. And as we pay it forward, we're growing and we're changing. So how do we do this? We do it by being present to them, saying to them, "Take as long as you need. You have my full attention. Take as long as you need. You have my full attention." It also means not multitasking while you're talking to them, whether in person, on Zoom, or on the phone. Being fully present to them in that moment. Tasha says that giving someone your complete presence is an astonishing gift. And I will say, and the book is for sale in the bookstore, there is a great meditation in it on communing with your inner child. And what she suggests is you record those meditations and then play them as you're listening to them. We can learn to befriend that child. And this is what she says. For some people, life can feel like a daily tantrum, all coming from that poor, neglected young one. This affects not only our money, but every part of our life. When you look inside, you'll often see that one who is enraged, lonely, or helpless isn't even the adult part of you. It's that abandoned one inside crying for love. How things change when you begin to care for it. I have my own belief. I believe that a lot of what we're seeing in our society right now, and I'm talking about the mass killings and stuff, comes right from what I said here. It is not the adult that's on board at that time. And this may happen to be Mental Health Month. But this is something that we as a society have to acknowledge and do something about. I want to share my own story. When I was first out of ministerial school, and I was an associate minister at a very large church in Kansas, and the senior minister was somebody who had to always have her thumbprint on everything. So that meant that no matter what you did, it was going to be tweaked because she had to do that. Well, that used to irritate the out of me. And so when I would go to meetings with her, I wouldn't be a very happy person. I might be pretty critical, and many of you know how intense I can be. And so I was in therapy. I went into therapy during that time. And I was telling my therapist about how hard it was for me to be in meetings with her. You know, from the platform, she was amazing. Off the platform, not so much. So the therapist said to me, Pat, let's do a little bit of work. She said, your little girl thinks she has to protect you. She's been protecting you all your life, and she thinks that's her job. She doesn't realize that you're now the adult. You can take care of yourself. And so what she said to me to do, she said, when you're going to meetings, you tell your little girl she has to come with you. There's no other way. She's part of you, but she needs to bring something to entertain herself. She needs to bring crayons and coloring book or something to entertain herself because she's not in charge at that meeting. That was the most profound thing that I had ever heard. And that was when I had to start doing the work of befriending that little girl. She still comes out. She still gets a little bit, when she gets scared, she goes into that mode of, but that was so important. So I learned over time to stop identifying as that little girl, alienating, feeling hopeless, feeling fury. I had to remember that was then and this is now. That was then and this is now. And this is a learnable skill with the help of the divine. It is pretty common that this kid running the show has made some disastrous financial decisions. Pretty common that this kid has made some bad career decisions. There's all of this that goes on, but with the help of the divine, it's about teaching us about our inner kindness and compassion. It's not what we just give out here, it's what we give in here as well. So first we must forgive. Something to say might go like this. I want to forgive you for the mistakes made in the past. You were really just a child. I want to forgive you for the mistakes made in the past. You were really just a child. You were scared. You didn't know better. But from now on, Spirit and I will be handling the money. or Spirit and I will be handling relationships. That's not your job anymore. Tasha again wisely says, losses can be followed by gains when you know that God is the origin and owner of all. You can stop beating the kid about money lost 20 years ago or 20 days ago. I can look back in my life and see some horrible decisions that I've made with money and not so far back. But I'm not going to keep beating myself up about it. That was then, this is now. I wish it didn't happen, but it did. Instead, you can think, all right, what's done is done. Now I'm finally learning how to care for the child and offer all finances to God for resolution. Remember the name of the book. It's not your money. So I'm going to invite you right now to do a check. How are you feeling right now? Is there some stuff going on inside here? I don't want you to get upset, but I want you to hear this because this is the key. If this is still going on in your life, this is the key that needs to get turned. Some of us may feel unable to take that little girl or that little boy off the spit. We want to keep roasting them. Take them off the spit. In the book, she tells another story. She tells great stories in this book. And it's about Olga. And Olga admitted that she felt total revulsion for the task of taking care of her inner child. She was infuriated when she had to learn to take care of that soft, vulnerable side. Why couldn't someone else do it instead? However, this is something we all know, and that is whatever is going on the outside is being mirrored on the inside. So whatever is happening outside, the inside is what's causing the outside. So until Olga was willing to reclaim and care for this abandoned part, no one else could help her. She had to do this. It was her work. And maybe it's just taking small baby steps at first, dealing with the anger. Remember a few weeks ago, I talked to you about getting a coconut and smashing the coconut. That's a way of getting rid of the anger, moving that anger out, or smashing plates. Anything with a log or a branch, go out and pound on a tree. The tree will take it, but it's your way of getting and moving the anger. So for Olga, this is what she needed for the first step to a loving inner connection. And here are some steps that may be needed as we start the process. If this is something that you need to work on, first we need to bring down the inner wall. If the child is angry or suspicious, it needs to feel that way. Give it time and don't give up. Again, coming back to gratitude. As you begin to focus on the inner child, you'll see it as an innate awareness of appreciation. It may also take time for this to happen. Sweet, small steps. The inner Calvary. The inner child is still waiting for the knight in shining armor to save them emotionally and financially. Still thinks that there's something that's going to come and save them. And when your inner child is crying, save me, you learn to reply, oh, yes, I will. I am finally going to be the wonderful parent for you. I'm going to end this story with another story. And the other story is about Reka, a tech guru who made lots of money in one company after another. And the reason I'm sharing this story with you is because it best illustrates what I've been sharing with you already about how our inner child can sabotage our lives and our prosperity. Hear me. How it can sabotage our lives and our prosperity if we don't deal with it. So, from the time that Reka lived far beyond her, even in the best of times, Reka lived far beyond her means. She bought the best of everything: Gucci, Prada, Cartier. She never practiced saving money. Then came a stretch where all her jobs vanished. But the overhead of her lavish lifestyle remained huge. She progressed from unbridled spending to anxious unemployment. In a few months, she hit rock bottom. She couldn't make payments on her waterfront penthouse. This brought her completely to her knees. She spent 6 months surfing couches of her friends. Until then, she thought she could manifest anything. She had believed she had such manifesting superpowers that she could manifest not just a regular Mercedes, but one with self-heating seats for the winter. But her spiritual curriculum changed to one of surrender. And here's the key, friend: surrender. The more she surrendered, healing began to emerge. She realized she'd clung to all the fancy labels because her mother had never valued her. In fact, her mother barely even looked her way. So she did the uncourting meditation that we did last week. Remember, we talked about those people that we're courted to that cause us some disturbances. So she did that meditation. She finally began to care for that dear abandoned girl who'd never felt good enough and always had something to prove. I want to take a moment here because, when we talk about the second principle, where everybody is inherently good, and you can say to me, oh, but Pat, what about this? What about this person? What about this person? When you can begin to realize that what you're seeing is not an adult in an adult body, but a little kid acting out, then it changes your whole experience of it. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing where the behaviors are the behaviors of the little kid, not a behavior of adult. So when she began to finally care for that little abandoned girl who'd never felt good enough and always had something to prove, she asked herself, what behaviors did I develop to get my parents' attention or approval? Think about that for yourself. What behaviors did you do that would get attention? There's such a thing as negative love syndrome. And that is when we do something that is bad and we get attention, that translates to love if we're not getting love in the proper way. Back in the early 2000s, I went to a 7-day in-house, inpatient type thing called the Hoffman process. I don't know if anybody is familiar with it, but it teaches you how to uncord from the negative love syndrome. And that was so helpful because that's where I started to learn how to take care of this little girl. And that was after I left Kansas. As she cared for herself, she stopped blaming herself for the financial mess she was in. And during the months of living with friends, she truly surrendered and offered her finances to Spirit. She had no other choice. And then one day, her former employer literally stopped and plucked her off the couch in her friend's basement and offered her a job with the same salary she had made before. But she was not of the same mindset as she was before. So even though she got put back into a job that was paying her good money, she owned a home again, but this time it was a modest one. So that she then began to have a savings program. And in a bigger sense, she had healed that inner child relationship that had driven her extravagant spending. So now she had a brand new relationship with money. And she now respects it as the flow of divine source. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, says this about prosperity. Prosperity is not in the possession of things. It's in the knowledge of free and open access to an inexhaustible storehouse of good. And that's when we do the surrender and we do the work. There is that inner storehouse of good that is always available to us. So I'm going to leave you with some homework this week. Get to know your inner child, listen to it, include it in things that you're doing, and most of all, be patient. And now I want to end with a prayer. And I want you to take this in. I offer this to you, O beloved. Allow the wall to fall that separates me from my own vulnerable child. Show the root that reunites us with patience and faith. I long to take care of myself like never before. I long to take care of myself like never before. And now let us prepare for meditation. Now I want you to just allow yourself to relax. Check, make sure your heart is open. And let the word be your word. Change me into one who can easily soothe, love, and care for my inner child who may grow fearful or impatient. Let me easily send love to take care of it in every way. And every day I grow more and more filled with divine courage, patience, ease, and grace. So sit in that for a moment. And every day I grow more and more filled with divine courage, patience, ease, and grace, and knowing that all is well. And so it is. I want to share one quick story with I brought up Hoffman process, and I just had the realization that Leroy was my spiritual director because he always did things first. And I can remember when the Huffman process came into our awareness, he was still in ministerial school, and he drove from Lee Summit, Missouri, to West Virginia to attend this 7 week. It was a school was out for a week, and he drove there on a Friday to get there in time for it to start. And he drove home Sunday afterwards to be there in time to start school the next day. And he told me when he came back, Pat, you have to go. It was so amazing. And I'm good. I'm good. Oh my gosh. He changed. There was such a change in him that he just kept at me because when things would come up that, I was having challenges with, he would say, the Hoffman process would be really good for you. Uh, and so that's what got me there. But he was always the front runner. He was always the one. He was always looking for what could he do to improve his quality of life. And I am so grateful for that. So that just popped into my head as we were doing the meditation. So switching gears, Hoffman process is still going on too, by the way, in case you wanted to know. Our prayer partner today is Barbara Kowalska, and Barbara would be very happy to pray with you. If something in this service, in this message today came up for you, you might want to pray with Barbara about it. Next Saturday, two things are happening next Saturday. The Unity Women's Adventure Group is meeting at 9:30. Where is Anita? There she is, back there. 9:30. What's the name of the place, Anita, in Westbrook? Okay, so it's in Westbrook and it's in Heart Thoughts, I believe. What's happening? It's a walking experience that will be happening at 9:30 next Saturday. Hopefully, we'll have weather just like this. And then in the afternoon at 12:30 is a workshop on emotional freedom techniques, EFT. Now, EFT is a very good process to use for what I've been talking to you about today. So again, it's so appropriate how spirit lines stuff up. but it will be a 4-hour experience of learning EFT, which is tapping. And it's going to be from 12:30 to 4:30 right here. And Pam Elby is the facilitator. So if you have any questions about it, she'd be happy to answer those for you. Raise your hand, Pam, so people see you. There she is. Okay. And I'm excited about that. And I'm looking forward to learning more about it. Next week, we're going to have a choir. We're going to have a choir. I am so excited about that. So I know that there are many singing voices that are sitting out here right now. I hope that we see you up here next week.
9 a.m.
9
Here.
a.m. right here. Yes. And next week, we're going to have Reverend Jim Rosemurgy with us. Jim Rosemurgy is a longtime Unity minister. He has written several books. We've used his books in some of our teachings. He has a new one out, Christian Heretic. And so he will be right here with us next Sunday. And we'll be having a potluck on that day as well. He will be signing books. He will be talking with you. Healing service is happening next Sunday as well. It always happens the first Sunday of the month. Starting in June, we're going to have an in-person, not on Zoom, an in-person women's group. And it's going to be the second Thursday of the month, which means it's June 8th this month. And it will be from 6:30 to 8. If the weather is lovely, we'll be outside. So bring a lawn chair if it's a lovely night. If it's not, we'll be in here. If it's too buggy out there, we'll come in here. But it's a time for us to come together and to support one another on this journey called life. Mary is starting an online book group for tweens. So if you have any tweens in your life, it's going to happen on a Thursday after school ends, and it'll be for 4 weeks. I believe there are some flyers available if you want to take one home or post it wherever you go. We would love to get the word out further out than where it just in here. The 5th Friday of the month, it's going to be our open mic night, and that is June 30th. So open mic here on June 30th. It's a Friday night. If you have something that you would like to share, show up. If it's a poem, if it's a song, if it's a dance, if it's whatever, show up for that because it will be fun. Now, there are a couple of other things I want to share with you. If you need hangers, the music room, there is an empty rack that has hangers on it. Please take some. The other thing is if you want any books or you know where you can get rid of any books, the Children's Cottage is open and there is a plethora of books in there that need to get moved. So if you have any books that you want, if you know a place to take them, please go get some and take them because we really do need to get rid of them. So I think those are the things that I wanted to share with you. And now it's time for us to receive our tithes and offerings. And the more that we let go of, the more that comes in because we are ready to receive. Okay. So let us say together our offering statement. Divine love flowing from me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the joy of giving. And so it is.
While the offering's being taken, please join us in singing Blessing to the World.
You are the Lord, you are the Lamb, you are the one, Spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is blessing to the world. I will Spirit on earth, and to And all we can say, this is all the world.
Is a blessing. Is a
Say
is a blessing.
And we bless these tides and springs, knowing that they go forth to do the will and the work, Unity Center for Spiritual Growth. And so it is. Amen. And before we stand to sing our closing song, I just want to acknowledge Betty Gates in the back row. We have not seen Betty for a very long time, and I am thrilled to see you. So please take a moment and get a hug from her. All right. Ah, so good to see you, Betty. Let us stand as we sing.
Let this be our moment. Every step I make, let this be my joy. Take each moment and every moment in peace, eternity. Let there be peace on earth, and let it be
And of course, Miracle Day today as well. And now let us do together our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God enfolds us. We are the love, the power of God protects us. We are the power, the presence of God watches over us. We are the presence wherever we are. God is, and all is well. Join us for coffee, tea, conversation. Have a blessed weekend.